I'm Dixie damelio. I also do TikTok.
About a year ago, Dixie damelio became one of the most popular TikTok creators on the platform. She's also been named by Forbes as the third richest TikTok creator to date, causing many viewers to ask how on earth this happened. There's no doubt about it. Nobody truly understands Dixie damelio and what has made her into the enigma that she is today. But that's where we come in. Stay tuned as we take a deep dive into the world of Dixie damelio and try to understand why her popularity and wealth have gone largely unnoticed. But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We are giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. First, a little bit about Dixie. Dixie damelio was born in August 2001 in Norwalk, Connecticut, to Mark and Heidi damelio. Just under 3 years later, young Dixie became an older sister with the birth of Charli in May 2004. The damelio family still lives together in Norwalk, and they consider themselves to be really close with one another. This fact can be seen in the sheer number of times that the family members appear in one another's live streams, TikTok videos, and the like. Always laughing, doing amazing things for one another, and just setting a great example for what a family should be, the damelios have been heralded as the Brady Bunch of Generation Z. I mean, just think about the Hype House situation for a second. Both Charli and Dixie became bona fide members of the Hype House within a year, and thus were given the opportunity to move to Los Angeles and live amongst their closest friends and fellow TikTok creators, not only growing their brands, but giving them access to content upon content. It's a dream come true for any teenager, right? Well, because the damelios are so close to one another and have brought Charli and Dixie up to respect responsibility and be smart about how they live their lives, the sisters chose to stay in Norwalk, where they could not only spend more time with their family, but more importantly, finish school. In other words, I'd say the first thing that people don't seem to understand about Dixie is that she holds her family above everything else, which is, unsurprisingly, something the haters would know if they just watched her videos. Next, let's talk about the internet culture surrounding the misunderstanding. The internet can be an extremely helpful place. It allows us to do a multitude of things that people in the past used to battle with. Unfortunately, however, every yin has its yang, and there's no worse yang than the dark side of internet culture. When people are able to hide their faces behind anonymous and untraceable usernames, they can say whatever they want and avoid any consequences which might have flowed from saying the same thing in person. Trolling, as the activity came to be called, is rife in the TikTok fandom, mostly due to the fact that people don't understand how these teenagers were able to make it so big by merely dancing and lip syncing to songs they had no part in creating. This misunderstanding brings jealousy, and when people start to feel hard done by, having to work hard just to make it through life, they take out their frustrations on the stars that seem to have had it easy. This is where Dixie comes in. Let's discuss Dixie and her experience with cyberbullying. Long-term fans of the young star will know that Dixie has had quite a few experiences with the toxic side of the internet, but honestly, as a first-time viewer, you'd never think so. She always appears to be so happy and confident in who she is that almost nothing could bring her down. However, it's a bit more complicated. By taking a look through Dixie's Instagram and TikTok content, you can see that she's received her fair share of criticism, some in the form of body shaming, which is never okay. When we think of body shaming, our minds are usually flooded with comments about people being overweight, but psychological studies have found that the opposite has just as much of an effect on a young teenager as those comments. Unfortunately for Dixie, this is exactly what happened when she posted pictures of herself in clothes that commenters deemed too revealing for her fanbase. The young star was faced with a slew of comments targeting her body, stating that she was setting unrealistic beauty standards for her followers, and other commenters said that they could see her ribs. Either way, Dixie was devastated and left feeling like she'd done something wrong. She actually recently opened up regarding how demeaning such comments about her body are and how they used to affect her. Dixie said that she knows she isn't unhealthy and works really hard to look the way that she does, but even now, when people comment on her body, it makes her think twice about how she feels about it. In general, people just shouldn't really care about how one another look, right? In a perfect world, this would be ideal. Unfortunately for Dixie, however, body shaming was far from the end of the ordeal. There is another claim based on the misunderstanding of the young star that has become almost synonymous with her name, with her being labeled as a fame leech. Figuring out why this term has been connected to Dixie doesn't take rocket science. Her sister Charli is by far the most popular TikTok creator on the platform, having risen up and used her fame to extend herself far beyond TikTok. In fact, on many occasions, people who haven't heard of TikTok still know who Charli is. That's incredible. Charli's popularity has become so huge that it appears to have its own gravitational pull, causing every member of her family to become famous on social media for doing what appears to be nothing at all. Look at her father, Mark D'Amelio, for example. The man does nothing but post TikToks about his family and their home life. But how many followers does he have? Just under 2 million. That is a huge number of followers for a middle-aged businessman, don't you think? And I believe it would be fair to say that without his daughter's success, Mark wouldn't have close to the number of followers he currently has. I wouldn't exactly call him a fame leech, as the popularity is just something that comes with the territory. But even so, I would put Dixie in a different category altogether. In fact, considering that Dixie has her own set of talent and a follower base of around 33.8 million on TikTok, it's clear that the attention she is receiving is not just a byproduct of her successful sister. If it were, she would likely have the same number of followers as her father, not over 15 times more than him. Unfortunately for Dixie, the internet doesn't always think this logically, with trolls calling her both a leech and untalented on a daily basis. She doesn't have to go through this alone though, as she has a slew of fans that will jump to her defense each and every time. On one occasion, a female fan tweeted, "Dixie has repeatedly and openly advocated for spreading kindness and anti-bullying, so regardless of whether or not you think she's talented, I know that myself and many others would rather support someone who has a good personality and who doesn't bring other girls down." Not only did Dixie thank the young user, she asked the troll how she could be better, only to be sent one of the most ludicrous replies, which can be summed up as, "Stop riding on Charli's coattails and show some personality." With grace and maturity, young Dixie responded by saying, "Thank you for the tip. I am working on things every day to be able to show my personality and passions with my followers. I am very shy, so I struggle with that sometimes. I take any criticism to help me change and grow, so thank you." Heart emoji. Dixie seems to know that you can never stop the trolls, but by handling situations like these in such an amazing way, she ensures that she always comes out on top. In terms of bullying, Dixie has taken a stand. Given the fame and fortune Dixie has at her disposal, however, she decided to collaborate with her sister, Charli, and partner with UNICEF to establish an anti-bullying project, where both girls not only shared their previous experiences of cyberbullying, but pleaded that their fans do whatever they can to stop going after other people, making the point that cyberbullying can have lasting effects on a young person's self-esteem that could stay with him or her until late adulthood. The girls opened up to the public for a good cause. Be mindful that the young girls gained nothing from this project. I, for one, just hope that people took their message to heart, as cyberbullying has become so rampant over the past few years. Finally, let's discuss why Dixie will always be a star. Even before Dixie became TikTok famous, she was posting pictures on Instagram. To be a successful model, you don't just need to look good, after all. You need to be able to connect to people. This is obviously one of her talents. Back in January 2018, the young superstar had already booked her first modeling gig. Today, she's even modeled for the likes of Ralph Lauren. Something else that the majority of haters don't seem to know about Dixie is that she's always been dedicated to the art of musical theater. In fact, when she was growing up, she performed in both community center and school plays, leading to a love for both acting and singing. Not only does she have a beautiful singing voice, she has an ability to act, which can be seen by her portrayal of Georgia on Attaway General, an Amazon Prime show about teenagers helping out at their community hospital. Regardless of where Charli is and what she does, it appears that Dixie will forever be a star in her own right. So there you have it. That's what nobody seems to understand about Dixie D'Amelio. But as I always say, that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours. So let me know in the comment section down below. Anyway, that wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.